Hello, everybody. This is the What is on the Tabletop podcast. I am Symbio Joe, or am I? And my guest today is the one and only Xerxes, or is he? You don't really know with all the Alpha Legionnaires around. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for being here again.
Or am I?
This is a
Let's,
lie.
yeah, let's see how far I can run down this joke.
Okay.
You are a busy man. When I met you the first time, you already had a well filled up schedule, or private and hobby time wise, but you decided to make even more stuff and be more busy than you already are. We come to
Well,
this not now because I
okay.
am itching to ask you about your baby, your codex. I tell me everything that happened in 1 year to Omegon's Wrath.
The official release of updates is a little bit on hold now. We released the last Codex update version 0.4 with a lot of rules for people to test out and some lore and stuff. And we also gained some people which digged through every rule to implement it into Battlescribe, and there were some issues like wording or some rule issues we want to address in further updates. But we are waiting right now for the new codex release, which is rumored to be later this year. So the Chaos Space Marines will get a new codex. There are rumored to be a World Eaters codex, and there are also recently announced the Chaos Knights, which we will maybe implement too. We don't know yet. We now have a little team working on rules updates or on fixes. But we will probably release a new version when the new codex hits. So soon after the new codex will be there, because we want to make the update worth a download. So we have one guy who's really into the Warhammer 40k lore, and especially into the Alpha Legion lore. And this guy suffers from the Ukrainian and Russian war, or the Russian invasion right now, because he had to flee, and he asked me if he could write some stuff. We were talking about the whole last year about lore and discussing some parts of the books which came out recently, like Mortis, where the Alpha Legion has a minor role. But as you know, we Alpha Legionnaires tend to interpret a lot of stuff in just a few sentences. So yeah, he will or is writing right now a lot of lore for characters like Omegon himself, or his planet of where he was stranded, which has a slight minor role in the Head of Hydra book, and he never got into detail, but we have the opportunity to interpret what we have and bend the truth a little bit to our needs to make some lore for the codex. We might be wrong with some things we write in there, because a lot of things are interpretation. We have a lot of information out of the novels which happens in the 30k era, but we have just a few books like Shroud of Night, which actually happened in the 40k universe. So there's a lot of room for interpretation, and this guy will bring it to lore pages, and I'll design the whole pages with new artworks coming from our priest. and also from artist Protochin. I hope I spelled that right. He's making another artwork right now. And so, yeah, there are a lot of work in the backgrounds, like new artworks, new lore, people fixing rules, or getting new units implemented and stuff like this. So, really, really a lot of work behind the scenes, so we can just bash out a very large update on the Omegon Thresh Codex once we have the ninth edition rules for Chaos Space Marines. So we can adjust things like the wounds or add new units which are in the codex right now. We also have a member in our team who's working on the rules and also working with the staff from Warhammer official for playtesting and stuff. So we got some inside information and can implement future rules quite early into our codex so that we can really head for release as soon as possible after the official Chaos Space Marine Codex release.
That is some very exciting stuff to hear. I'm very glad for you that it works out so well. As someone who tortures himself by making his own rules for Warhammer 40k and now Warhammer Quest, I have to ask you, have you had the opportunity since we last spoke to test out your own rules?
Yeah, I had, but I must admit I'm really more into painting and building models, so I rarely play. And also, COVID made it not very easy to find games. I have one friend of mine, which was my designated um, playmate in these COVID times, so we played a lot of games like Kill Team Warcry, and we recently started with Age of Sigma, and we also had one game of Warhammer 40k. He's really into rules, but I'm not, so that's why I have a little team around me writing rules for the Omegon Thresh Codex because I'm really bad at it, and I find them quite funny to play with. The guys behind the balancing of the rules really did a great job. I played Omegon in this game, and also the new units we invented, like the race, for example, and it was really fun to play. Although we just played a small game of 1,500 points, so and I had to really look up every rule and stuff like this. So because I just lack of playing routine. So that's why I'm the design guy and the art guy and stuff behind the codex and not the rules writer, because then they would be very shitty. So I'm deep respect of you writing your own rules for Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Quest. I made the first concept of rules when we had the first version of the codex, and people came to me and said, "Hey, I'm really into rules, or I'm really into playing on tourneys and stuff like this. Can I help on the codex?" And I said, of course. I made a Discord, and they got really out of their mind writing rules and stuff like this, and made some playtesting games and balancing things and stuff like this. So yeah, I had one game and it was fun. But I think if I would get more into playing Warhammer 40k, which I will probably will once the restrictions of COVID will go down a little bit, I will have more games playing my Alpha Legion with my own codex. Probably this year. I hope so.
Uh, let's pray to the dark gods that you will get your chance. Lot of chances, so to say. So being well the overfiend of a team, do you have the finger on the pulse, so to say? Do you have the overview of the feedback when it comes to playtesting, or have you sourced that one out?
No, so I'm really into reading every feedback we get on the codex, especially when we released a new version. There are a lot of comments, a lot of people reaching out to me. And there are also a lot of Alpha Legion lovers on our Discord. So we get a lot of feedback, and we also have a hidden threads, do you call it that way on Discord? I don't know. We have hidden threads for the admin team, and there we collect every feedback anyone can find on the web, but I especially read every comment and copy everything out of the comments on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Reddit, wherever, and collect the messages in this feedback channel. And so the guys who are really into the rules and wrote a lot of their the rules for every unit and stuff, can implement them, can discuss if the feedback makes sense or not. And so I am, yeah, well, I'm kind of a collector and try to feed the team with information they can work with.
Well, that is indeed still some busy work and work that has to be done after all. So, what would you say was the biggest surprise or the biggest surprises you encountered on your journey? May they be positive or negative?
So it's quite hard to make a fan codex, because, well, the people don't accept fan-made stuff if they do, if it's written down in a novel or official rulebook. So well, we get some feedback on things where the people think that don't fit the Alpha Legion, or in general. If it's not official, then I won't play with it. So we had some of these guys, these trolls, and yeah, but I think the codex is meant to be a community project, so everybody can contribute and work for the codex, and it's a fun thing like every fan codex. So I think you don't have to be that serious on such a fan-made codex. So we try to, and that's really the golden goal of us, to not invent anything that's out of context. So we are really into the lore of the Alpha Legion, and we read every book, maybe the Eisenhorn series or the Beckwin series of novels, where some bits of Alpha Legion lore is hidden, or the new books like Siege of Terror or Mortis, where some bits of Alpha Legion lore is hidden, and we try to take that and just fill in the gaps. Like we have a lot of information from the 30K era, but very few of the 40K era, and there's a gap in between, like, I don't know, 5,000 years, and we try to fill it with things which make sense and lean on the actual lore we have, and try not to be, I don't know, we don't try to put too much fantasy in there, like inventing things that won't make sense and stuff like this. So we just bend the actual lore we have and interpret it in a way that would benefit the timeline we cannot cover with any information we can get from official side. So we can just say that the guys who were complaining about this isn't official and this is just fan-made lore and stuff like this, yeah, somehow, but we just base everything on the official lore. So these were the kind of things like lore and rules which got some negative feedback, but there were also a lot of positive feedback, like that the codex looked very professional made. We had a lot of fancy artworks in there, and the people really liked the codex and digged the tutorials we put in there and stuff like this. And so we take all the positive things people liked about the codex and try to enhance the the positive things even more. So put more tutorials in there. There are already tutorials for the Horus Heresy kind of armor scheme, and there are also will be basing tutorials and stuff like this for a base which benefits the color scheme you're choosing. So, like, may it be sandy or more rusty. So you have the complementary color on the base to the model itself and stuff like this. So we are trying to, or still trying to, give you a PDF file you can download for free to get started with the Alpha Legion, get the lore, get the tutorials, and get the rules to play the Alpha Legion in a very unique way, which is not which fits the Alpha Legion itself very good, but on the other side takes away a little bit just the Chaos Space Marine stamp they got, and put them in between loyal and chaos. So which fits them a lot better than the official way of dealing with Alpha Legion, like just giving them -1 to hit if they are 12 inches away or stuff like this, which sounds like Raven Guard, and it really is. So we just want to get our own rules out there for people who want to really play the Alpha Legion on a friendly basis, because on tourney it won't be accepted, but for people who want to play the Alpha Legion in a way which feels more like Alpha Legion, I would say. And we just use the positive and the negative feedback we got and try to implement it in the codex as best as we can. And also, which is also a great, I don't know, a great thing I try to implement is new artworks, which are kind of expensive. So this is a kind of a setback if you want to make your own codex. You can't put artwork in there which looks like kids have drawn them or stuff like this. So you have to just put some things out or in there which are appealing to the eye. So the codex makes some kind of professional appearance, and that's a thing that if you have a house and stuff like this isn't always possible to do. So I am very glad that Joshua, you also interviewed him, allows us to use some of the artworks he commissioned from Elijah or our priest, to that we can implement them in the codex too. And I don't have to pay for every artwork myself, so that would be another thing that would delay the codex pages a lot, if people wouldn't contribute some artworks for free, or just Joshua contributing his commissions to the codex and say we can use them for free and make the Alpha Legion great again.
Well said, well said. The undivided legions come a long way. Just as you were explaining everything, I immediately thought about the third edition codex, which was, well, more of a booklet when it comes to lore and fluff. And then the next one, the 3.5 or yeah 3.5 codex, which is to some, oh wait a second, 4.0 codex, which is to a lot of people the gold standard chaos codex, because you had a lot of options. You had options for every chaos legion, and the especially the demon prince. And well, Iron Warriors started to rule supreme with their obliterators, and the Alpha Legion in that codex had the option to field cultists, but they had to take certain veteran skills, which I do not know made them worth at the time, or did reflect the Alpha Legion very well. But it was definitely a time where my heart for the Alpha Legion did start to grow. And where was I going at?
I don't know, but I think the Alpha Legion is way more than just cultists. You know, of
Yes, of
course, the
course.
Alpha
Yeah, yes.
Legion use cultists, and there will be rumored new cultists with a battle standard bearer and a leader and stuff like this. And we will probably get some new cultist rules or benefits to use cultists. But I think what Games Workshop do is or did in the past is reducing the Alpha Legion to just cultists. And I think we are way more than that. And I think the 30k rule set represents the Alpha Legion quite good. With some elite units you can use from other armies and stuff like this. And I think they could just take some bits of the traitor legions and the Horus heresy and just implemented this in the 40k rule set, because I think it would fit the Alpha Legion a lot better, and we did not have to, or there wouldn't be a reason to make a fan codex, you know. If they do
It
their
had to start somewhere, doesn't it?
if they would do their fucking job, there wouldn't have to be a fan codex. Let's be honest.
That was close to a spit take right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I myself talk a lot of smack when it comes to Games Workshop rules and what they are doing, and of course, one has to have always in the back of the head that they are a company that sells and so on and so forth. And what I was getting at before I lost my train of thought, that is
Yeah.
the fact that the undivided traitor legions have always been, in my eyes, in a very awkward spot, because there is a not a lot, but tidbits of lore that just says, like, yeah, they are chaos, but not really chaos. Like, I think a one-liner about Night Lords, that they despise every other legion that serves or praises the Dark Gods, and the fact that Night Lords are that Iron Warriors are very keen to cut off any mutations and replace them with bionics, and the only true followers of the Chaos Gods are the Word Bearers, and Alpha Legion was a long time in this very, or might still be in that very strange spot, to be the saboteurs set end of list, and that is nothing you can work much with. But with all the background you already mentioned, it is painfully obvious that Alpha Legion should be something else than spiky Space Marines.
I think that will be covered in the next update too. So the Alpha Legion has a lot of chaos cells, you know. Um, Alpha Legionnaires lost their way of the Primarch and just do their own things. We also will implement a custom cell of Elijah, which paints a lot of artworks we are implementing in the codex, and he invented the Emerald Chamber, and we also covered it in the last artwork he made, where a lot of characters of Alpha Legion influencers like Joshua or Raptor Imperialis and stuff like this, or people like this, Brother Gregorius and some other guys. We made an artwork of Alpha Legionnaires of different eras, different armor styles and stuff like this, fight against the Emerald Chamber, and we also will get them into the Codex as a playable cell with a lot of lore and stuff like this, and some artworks Elijah is working on, and I think this is a good example of the cells which lost their way, and Omegon tried to unite the Alpha Legion once more. And if they just gone renegade or gone whole chaos in their mind, they will be wiped out. So that's why I chose when we. I don't know if the version 0.4 were out when we talked the last time, but I commissioned an artwork of Omegon killing Chaos. Alpha Legion Chaos Space Marines. So I think Omegon leans more to the, or is he Alpharius? Alpharius Omegon leans more to the loyal side of things, and this was a lie. So, and that's why you can still have Chaos Space Marines, and that's why we want to fit in between loyal Space Marines, Primaris stuff, because that's what the people like, and also the Chaos Space Marine stuff, because that's the official side of things. And we want to fit in there somehow, taking units out of both codex, so you can play a real renegade army, which has Alpha Legion cells and Alpha and Chaos instruments like war machines and stuff like this, demon engines, but also have those Phobos armored Wraith units or stuff like this to represent their sneakiness, their fighting out of the shadows and stuff like this, their sabotage more, because I don't know if Chaos Space Marines all spiky and stuff like this, and that's what we have. We don't have quite renegade looking models. We just have those really chaotic Chaos Space Marines on the official side. So, and people don't see the Alpha Legion in them. Maybe some sales, but I think the majority of Alpha Legion players just sees the Alpha Legion in between there. They are using Chaos stuff, yes, because if it benefits the plan, it's okay to use it and to guide the brothers which have fallen to chaos or which lost their way to the goal of Omegon. But I think the main people see the Alpha Legion more on a stand between loyal and chaos, just renegade.
Yeah, the Renegade Space Marine, that idea was hugely sparked when Games Workshop decided to take a better and closer look to the Astral Claws, now known as the Red Corsairs, and featured in the White Dwarf a possibility to make Renegade Space Marines, like having the Red Corsairs were featured. Well, you had your standard Space Marine armor with a red cross painted across the chapter insignia, or the player have been encouraged to just kit bash Chaos Space Marines and regular Marines, just to show that after all the time in the warp, you or away from the Imperium, you have to loot and scavenge um, equipment from the loyal Space Marines. Of course, on the Alpha Legion side, you are just already there and take it.
Yeah,
So to
from the
say.
beginning.
And that was something very, very interesting. A lot of people, at least around me, were very sad about that Games Workshop did not expand on. And they were at least happy that Huron Blackheart turned into a playable character model. And
Yeah.
to come back to one of your points, the complaints about, well, this is hobby made and I can play this, and some pushback on homemade rules. I Regular listeners of the podcast will already know where I'm going at, because I mentioned it a few times. There is a certain crux to homemade rules that they are not balanced or well thought out, because when you are at least I'm speaking for myself now. When I started out with other players, you were young, you were enthusiastic, and you were throwing out rules ideas faster than you would paint or play games. And as a young person, your sense for balancing was not that developed. And
Mm.
so it was a very tough sell as a newcomer to convince the older players who were very set and comfortable with the rules they already played to accept something new. And I think we still have that in the community, and not exactly, well, on the one side, of course, there are people who are get paid to make rules, so you use them. And on the other side, you paid for these rules and you paid quite a hefty price, and there is some resistment to be expected when someone says, "Hey, I made these rules you do not have to pay for," and the person is like, "But I already have paid for these rules made by professionals." Yes, but they are professionals that work for profit, hence the word. And there comes a lot of problems with that, and you might want to skip these problems or change these problems if you want to. And it is always easier to have a friend that rides on the same wavelength when it comes to these thoughts, and just say, "Hey, I have now this, let's try it out." And the friend is like, "Yeah, cool." And we see some of the pretty obvious rule suggestions now in Kill Team, I guess, with very much more interactive options with the terrain, because it was I think it is a rule of nature. As soon there is a barrel or something that can blow up or might blow up on the battlefield, someone will ask, "Can I blow this up?" And for the most of the time, when it comes to the Warhammer 40k rule setting, it was a solid no. No, you
Mm.
can't blow that up, and that is sneaking slowly in with Kill Team, and maybe it will stay there. I'm not familiar with the all the missions that Games Workshop has put out over the time, but I don't think blowing up stuff is very encouraged, unless it is vehicles, of course, because it changes. Uh, it might change the terrain or something like that. But yes, there are options, and, well, empty spaces that want to be filled. May it be by a very enthusiastic player that just started, or by a player that has read all the rules and all the fluff, and is like, huh, that fluff does not translate at all in the rules. And yeah, there are these starting points that are very, very valid in my eyes.
Yeah. And I think it's great to have a team of really. I think Warhammer is just such a great hobby. You have so many different facets of playing Warhammer or engaging with Warhammer. You have the painting side, you have the playing side. There are people just playing. They don't paint their armies. They just buy their army because they really like list building, getting the max out of a list, playing really nice strategies and tactics, winning tourneys and stuff like this. And having these people with the, you know, I just played a game a few years ago with a tourney player, a really nice guy, and he just knew every rule out of every codex, I think. So I was playing Chaos Space Marines, and he was playing Imperial Army. So and he knew my rules as if he would play Chaos Space Marines 2, and he knew the Tyranids rules and the Adeptus Mechanicus rules and stuff like this. So he was really into rules and trying to maneuver around the rules of the enemy with his Imperial army, and for winning games by knowing every rule and how to just get around some things and get the max out of your army and the tactics and strategies. So having a group of people who think the same, discussing rules, and they're really discussing rules for like days. Um,
I've been there.
yeah, it's a great thing for a man like me who just don't play as much as these guys. So these guys make, I don't know, one game a day, or maybe sometimes they have like 8 games a week or stuff like this. May it be on Real Person or on the tabletop simulator and stuff like this. And they really, really test things out to the max and understand the whole meta behind the rule sets. And I think having a team of such people we can be proud of to present rules in the codex which are, at least on the paper, quite balanced. But we are always encouraging people to test the rules out at friendly games and give us some feedback, so we have something to work with. Because although we have a nice team of rules enthusiastic players and tourney players and stuff like this, we just rely on people actually playing the rules, try to understand what we wanted to say, and just stumble over things you get blind for after working on those rules for like weeks.
Yeah, it just happens, so to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what I had a very good group to test out my version, or well, my mod for the Kill Team First Edition, and it is a blessing, because you need those people that test everything and very
Yeah, yeah.
enthusiastically, as you mentioned, testing it. And that is a lot of work, and the but someone needs to do it, because
Yeah, right.
because those rules, on paper they look one way, but on the battlefield they turn out to be another way. And I've been through enough edition and codex releases to know that all the hubbub and gnashing of teeth and theory hammer does only to, well, let's say, let's be generous here, does only hold up to 75% of testing.
Yeah, right.
There is still a lot of stuff that looks good or looks bad um, in the codex or in the edition that turns out to be not that bad, or the theory hammering was completely wrong about it. And yeah, that is a lot of work to do, and you are more on the hobby side of things. And as I mentioned at the very start, as time pushing on, I do not want to let that slip by. You have entered the wonderful world of YouTube content creation.
Yeah, right. So this was basically born out of Instagram's fucking up the algorithm. So I just have to say it like this because so many people I know are suffering from the thing the algorithm does. So we just didn't had any non-follower reach for about a year. I would say. I just looked up. I with Dolta Socha. I This is also a German guy. You might know him for his Flash Heroes, for example. He spoke to me about it in October 2020. So 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago, we experienced a problem of not reaching any more people outside our follower base. So and that's why, well, that's because Instagram wants to be some kind of everything but not Instagram. They want to be Snapchat with their stories. They want to be YouTube with their video thing that totally failed. And they just want to be TikTok with their reels. But I think they just lose their way, like some Chaos Space Marine cells of the Alpha Legion did. Uh, so they just lose their way because Instagram is a platform for artists presenting photos. And it's like, I don't know, the last year it was like, if you want to post a photo and go to Instagram and say, hey, I want to post a photo, this is it. I really put a lot of work in this miniature and into photography of this miniature and stuff like this. Can you show this to the Instagram audience? And then Instagram was like, oh yeah, you didn't make a reel? No, I just made that photo. And Instagram was like, well, you could make a reel out of it, don't you? So, and if you did not hop onto that reel train and kept on posting pictures of your models, you did not reach any non-followers. So Instagram basically restricted the reach of your content just to your followers. And there were times when the post went good on your follower base, then hashtags or explore got activated, like, I don't know, 3 hours after posting, and then some people could see the post by scrolling through the hashtags or on the explore page. But it wasn't like before. Before you posted a picture and you got a lot of response, it was shown to people all over the world. And so this Omegon Thresh movement was possible. So by reaching out to new people which don't or didn't know about the way we do things with the Alpha Legion, like kit bashing two models of different factions together and combining them with a lightning effect and stuff like this. And these kit bashes and stuff like this just didn't reach anybody out of my followers I already had. So this was kind of depressing, and I almost I thought about quitting Instagram and deleting it. So because there was no sense, I am quite of, or I need people contributing to the Omegon Thresh Codex and movement because I can't do this all on my own. I have a job. I have I have an old house. and stuff like this. I'm married, and I am also very active in animal rescue. So time is limited, and I'm much more keen to paint my armies and play some games than working full time on a codex to get it done. So I'm very or I need the help of people. I need the help of people seeing the Alpha Legion stuff and say, hey, I saw your codex and I want to work with you on and contribute some lore I can write, or I want to contribute a piece of artwork which you can implement into the codex, or we have also some people like VBits Studios, which or who will be doing some Alpha Legion 3D printable and 3D printable bits, which you can also buy on Shapeways if you don't have a 3D printer. And he makes really good bits for Warhammer, and he will do some bits for the Alpha Legion you can buy or download and print for yourself to make kit bashing a lot of or a lot easier. And I am very in need of people like him, or the guy who writes all the lore, or the rules team discussing rules and implementing them into the codex and stuff like this, because I'm just the designer and the kind of I give a direction to the codex, but I just collect all the contributions by the community and get that into a codex which is presented in a quite well way. So if you don't have any reach out of your follower base, you're kind of fishing in your own pool for the whole time. And I wasn't the only one who suffered from this new algorithm. There was a lot of people like Care for Mini Painting. I made this collaboration piece for Nova Charity for, like Mavericks Painting. A lot of you guys might know for his tutorials he doing with mini wargaming, and even Dave from mini wargaming suffered from this new algorithm and getting no reach at all. So it was kind of a lottery to get posts out there which activated hashtags in Explore reach, so you can reach some non-followers and actually grow. So I didn't grow at all the last year, and I didn't want to make a giveaway or stuff like this too. So I want to build the follower base of people liking the Omegon Thresh movement and want to be part of it. So it was quite hard, and I just got so depressed with my post of things I thought, wow, that's a great kit bash, or I put a lot of extra work in that painting, and that was just like, oh yeah, here, you've got 300 likes. And I think Instagram is not all about likes or followers, and you shouldn't just head for a lot of likes or followers. That's not the case. But in my case, with the Omegon Thresh movement, I kind of depend on it to reach other people than my followers I already have. And so I developed some kind of social media strategy the end of last year, because I was about to quit Instagram, as I said, and thought about what other things I can do. So I got into YouTube to post some tutorials, because Instagram limits the way you can post videos. You have like 1 minute you can show in a reel, and after that you have to go to the IGTV thing, which doesn't really work out on Instagram, I think. So I could have gone for Twitch, but as I'm a busy man, as you said, I don't have time for regular Twitch streams or stuff like this. And as I'm a teacher for mentally handicapped people, who are talking a lot over the day, I'm quite confident to paint in silence. So I reached out to YouTube for painting tutorials because I wanted to show those tutorials we have in the codex in actual video so people can follow along and paint their Alpha Legion, and there will be a lot of more armor schemes and stuff like this we can cover, like the Horus Heresy scheme, which is more of turquoise, and we will also go for non-metallic stuff and things like this. So this was a way for me to reach new people on one hand and also bring the tutorials to people which are not on Instagram, and to bring the tutorials on a much more understandable way. And that was the case why I reached out to YouTube, and I also mentioned my social media strategy. So I'm spamming models out now every or 3 times a week, every time on 1 p.m. and 50 minutes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I think, maybe Saturdays. So, but I think Fridays. So 3 times a week. These are models which I already finished painting, or I will get out of my cabinet, look at them, make some more paint strokes, or add an OSL or stuff like this, and get new photos and make a collage. You can see on my 2 latest posts now of Gasco Thraka and the Nova Charity Marine for the Ukraine. And I will also make more reels because that's what Instagram wants. And I will also make some carousel posts or 360 videos to get a overall time period of 1 year. So there will be 1 year now of three posts a week of old and new models, and I will get some posts in there out of the line on the weekends or in between, of special VIPs of kit bashes, I think, which are worth showing. And I also will go deeper into the conversion side of things, showing on YouTube and Instagram what bits I used or as far as I can remember them. So I will use 360 videos of kit bashed models or finished models, and just highlight the bits and give you an insight on the kits I used. And so this was is my strategy born out of the algorithm making artists like me or other people just posting their miniatures a hard time.
Yeah, that is quite a dark turn on a lot of funny videos I enjoyed from your side. I I don't. I want. I'm in quite a pickle here because YouTube is constantly recommending one video of you to me that well, has almost nothing to do with modeling or painting, and that is the video about the love life of an Alpha Legionnaire.
We have no love life. This is a
Apparently,
lie. Oh, that was so funny because if you just install the app of TikTok and scroll through all the videos until the TikTok algorithm, which works a lot better than the Instagram algorithm, presents you some videos, and you think like, yeah, open that book on page 35 and this will describe your love life, and oh yeah, here, head of the Hydra, and you think like, oh, an empty page.
the gods have decided your fate.
Yeah, duty over love life.
So I guess it is fair to say to all the listeners, if you're enthusiastic about the Alpha Legion, help a battle brother out, or a traitor brother, so to say.
I'm always a better brother if you're loyal or traitor. And I was there before. I was there when all your brothers were little Astartes warriors, and your Primarch wasn't found yet, because I am an Alpha Legionnaire. I was there from the beginning.
Yeah, Alpha Legion is the most brotherest of brother legions. They are the ultimate brothers of all the brothers who can brother, or
the
are
fir-
they?
the first brothers, so to say.
Oh yes. Coming. Actually, I think I'll save this up for maybe another episode because I think there needs to be a little bit more talking about the Ukraine, and you already mentioned that one of your team members was very affected by that situation we have right now, and a lot of third party bit sellers are also affected if you're following them on
Yeah.
Instagram. And it is not a good situation at all. And well, to leave that on a good note, I was very positively surprised how the community stuck together and made charity events happen to help the people in this war torn country.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I also try to get some people engaged in Nova Charity, uh, which will do a raffle on the 15th of May. And I got people like Kev Mini Painting or Omegon Edge, Brother Gregorius, and stuff like, or people like them into this. I think we can do something good, although our hands seem to be bound somehow. And I think raffles are a good thing.
yes, indeed. And well, coming back to your work, and well, take it from some random guy on the internet. Your work is highly appreciated. It is very interesting, and I am very glad that you did not throw Instagram out of the window with all the shenanigans it pulled on you. And I hope that there are blue skies ahead, or blue greenish skies. One does never know what the next ritual will uh, do to the weather.
Mm.
And yeah, have a look out for good causes, and help them out. And if you don't have the money, there is still the your hard work you you can put in the Omegon's Draft project. Just play games. The
Yeah,
easiest,
well,
the easiest. Oh, I'm so stupid. The easiest way to help this project out: take the rules, play the game. Please do
yeah.
as
Or
a
just paint
hobbyist,
models.
or
Just paint
just
models.
yeah,
For
just paint
every
models.
guy out there who paints an Omegon Thresh model and kit bash the hell out of models, or combining two models we didn't yet, and paint them properly. It's an advertisement for the Alpha Legion, and I think that's what Omegon Thresh is all about: to make this legion a good legion to start with, and probably a legion with a strong community behind it. Because when I started Warhammer 40k again in 2010, the Alpha Legion wasn't that great. The Horus Heresy didn't have that dedicated rules and stuff like this. I think we talked about this in our last episode where we were talking. And I think we can achieve something together by painting Alpha Legion models, get tutorials out there, get a codex out there, which fun to play rules, and just getting some feedback and grow as a community together and build something not every legion has, you know?
Yes, I think, well, there is a lot of love out there, I think, for the legions dedicated to one of the Chaos Gods, like of course the whole revamp of the Death Guard and the Thousand Suns. I'm not so sure about that one if I like it or not, but yeah, the Undivided Legion sure needs some love, and well, l- let let us put it out there that the Alpha Legion is more than just a meme that is I am Alpharius or Chaos Undecided, and you there is still work to do. I am very happy that you opened up this project and let us peek behind the curtains, so to say. And yes, everything's you do so far and what your team has done, and of course Joshua with his very generous continuous commissioning of our priest. It is a joy to behold.
Yeah, well, his goal is to make his own Horus Heresy rule set, I think, or lore book. I don't know his quite precise goal, but he's commissioning all those pieces to get codex for the Horus Heresy side of the Alpha Legion.
Well, who knows the precise goals of an Alpha Legionnaire? It is up to
Nobody.
any it is up to anybody's guess. Even the Alpha Legion
Yeah.
has to guess about the Alpha Legion. So it was super fun talking to you. I enjoyed it very much. I hope you did too. Thank you for your time,
Thank you for
and
inviting me again. It was an honor.
happy hobbying to everybody. And if you can, grab some of the Omegon's Wrath rules and play by it, and give Mark your feedback, give the group your feedback, and yes, that's it for today. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.